Hey PC gamers, and welcome back to the PC Gamer chat log. I am Lauren Morton and I am here with Molly Taylor.
Hi.
And this week, Molly and I are going to be talking with our guides writer, Sarah James, about our MMO player characters and sort of how we relate to them and how other people relate to them. Basically, is your character like your original character? Are they an OC? Are they part of the story? Do they have their own lore? Or are you a horrible trash goblin like me who just makes the stupidest names, stupidest characters, couldn't care less about whether they fit into the game that they belong in? So that's what we're going to be talking about this week. But before we get there, Molly, what did you do last week?
So first of all, I'm so sorry. I'm sick this week. I'm sick this week, so I do apologize.
Molly's doing her best.
Yeah, I do my best right now. So this week I was on my usual bullshit. I have a tournament coming up this weekend, actually.
That's right.
Yeah, so I have a tournament coming up this weekend for Tekken 7. So I have been practicing a little bit of my Tekken 7. I'm also doing a Tekken 5 tournament as well, which is not very PC gamery, but yeah. So I've also been playing just a smidge of Tekken 5 as well. So that's been really fun. I've had a good time.
That's got to be difficult to be practicing two different versions of Tekken to be playing competitively, right?
Well, Tekken 5 I'm not trying as hard with.
just for kicks.
Yeah, just kind of it's a bar tab prize, right? It's at my local barcade. So it's just kind of, just shoot the shit. We'll see how it goes. But I wanted to go in with something. I don't want to go in and just fall on my ass immediately. So
you want to put up an honest showing. You maybe could win the bar tab.
Yeah, I want like a little bit of a fight, right? So so I'm doing that, and then I've got a very small tournament this weekend that I'll be participating in for Tekken 7. So I can update on that next week, and I'll let you all know how I get on. Probably not very well. If I even make it at this point. If I'm well enough to travel, hopefully I will be. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been doing this week, just practicing for my tournament, and playing around with emulators as well. I've been having a bit of a retro week, so nice. I busted out an old emulator, and it's been a not very PC week. I've been doing it on PC. I guess emulation is sort of like PC centric, but
yeah. I think that still counts as very PC gamer.
Yeah, emulation is very PC. So yeah, that's what I've been up to this week, and also recovering from a cold. How about you, Lauren? What have you been up to this week? Give me a little riddle. I don't have riddles anymore because it's always Tekken.
I'm gonna give you a little guess. All right, prehistoric Stardew Valley.
I feel like I saw someone talking about this. No, I haven't, but I feel like I saw someone talk about this. What is this one?
It's called Roots of Pacha.
And oh, yes.
Yes. I have been following this one for quite a while. I'm very excited for it to be releasing this week, or by the time folks hear this, it will have already released. It's just immediately very good. I was very impressed. I mean, I was expecting it to be decent. We've had so many games that are like Stardew Valley, Stardew but this, Stardew but that. And I think a lot of them kind of struggle with pacing off the bat. Like they either give you not quite enough to do in the beginning and they kind of leave you at a loose end, or they pile too many things on you. I think a lot of them, struggle with the rate at which to dole out tasks, new systems, and they miss just slightly that feeling that makes you not stop playing the next day, the next day, the next day. And this one nails it off the bat. I really am enjoying it. I've been working on taming wild animals. I'm discovering new seeds for plants. I did have to stop myself from doing another day last night before I logged off. And it also has co-op at launch. So I'm going to be playing that with some of my friends very soon. And I'm excited to give it a try with 4 people. And we'll see how we get on with that. I'm sure your mileage may vary depending on the disposition of your friends. Mine are shitlords like me. So it might be a bit of a messy clan that we develop. But yeah, that one's been really exciting this week.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's like something I actually need to check out as well.
So. You should. I do highly recommend it. I think it is going to be earning a place on our list of best games like Stardew Valley in short order. If I have anything to say about it, and I do because my name is on that list. So there's your official early recommendation. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we are going to get to the part of this week where we are headed to talk to Sarah about our MMO characters. And spoiler alert, Molly was not sick at this time. So we have all of our voices in full yelling at each other capacity.
Yeah, you don't have this for an hour.
Yeah. So fantastic. Let's go talk to Sarah. Bye.
Enjoy.
Hey, Sarah. So tell us about why you're here with us today talking about MMOs. Tell us your sins, your characters, what MMO you hail from.
Mostly, I would say World of Warcraft. I got into World of Warcraft back in, I want to say 2011. It was shortly after Cataclysm launched, and I've kind of dipped out of it for about a year, and then I kind of got back into it again in Mists of Pandaria, and then I have been playing pretty much solidly since then. But yeah, it was my first MMO. I've dipped into a few others, like I cannot think of the name of it. The Star Wars one.
Oh, the Old Republic?
That's the one.
The BioWare one?
Yeah. No. Possibly. It was one of the Star Wars ones anyway.
Knights of the Old Republic?
Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called, right? Oh. I'm not a Star Wars girly.
No, I'm not Star Wars one. I don't know why I played it, but I did, and I played that for about a year, and it was really fun. Also, Terra, which was really, really, really good.
Oh, yes.
The combat.
Yes, I haven't played it, but I had friends that did. So.
Yeah, the combat was really, really good. It was like, I don't know if it was the first, but it was very, very action combat-y. And it was just really, really, really good. The story was absolute crap, but the rest of it was just brilliant. It's Korean as well, I think. So very sort of skimpy outfits and stuff. But it was really good fun. Played that for about a year.
Peace, Tara.
Yeah, definitely. But no, World of Warcraft is where I've spent most of my time in the MMO world.
You are our chief WoW liker right now.
Yes.
That's safe to say.
Yeah.
And Molly is our chief Final Fantasy 14 liker. One of a couple, but you may be in charge of the Final Fantasy 14 liking right now.
Yeah, I have the most severe brain rot when it comes to the Final Fantasy players on the team. Tyler Culp is a close second.
Yeah.
I think we just have like ever so slightly off brain rot. I have a little bit more than he does. But yeah, Final Fantasy 14 is my main one. It's the one that I have played the most of. I've been playing that on and off since 2014. Taking a very small break at the minute. No doubt I will be back at some point. But I've tried WoW. Wasn't really for me. I don't know why. I think I just prefer like the cat girls and the the bunny girls of Final Fantasy, right? And then I have played enough Guild Wars 2 to have an opinion on it. That sounds like I don't like it. I do like it. I like Guild Wars 2.
You just can't claim to main it.
Yeah, I just haven't played anywhere near as much of it as Final Fantasy. Like, my class knowledge is still not great. So yeah, those are the ones that I've played.
And I'm mainly a Guild Wars the original and Guild Wars 2 person. And as I said, like early in the year to you, Molly, my relationship with MMOs has gotten like sort of weird. So I've been sort of like playing other things and treating them like MMOs. Like I played Red Dead Online like an MMO. It's not. It doesn't have the same player counts. It's not the same, but it sort of felt that way in the like logging on every day with my friends, constantly working on my outfit, only being motivated to do certain content to get new outfits. And like Diablo 4, we've already talked about Diablo 4 this year. I feel like I'm going to treat that a little bit like an MMO too. But
me too.
What brings us all here today is our MMO characters and our player characters, our relationships to our little babies, our little people, because it's been a long time ago now, but when Lost Ark first launched, we all got embroiled in this conversation. Like Molly, you, me, Sarah, former member of this team, Natalie, talking about how we viewed our characters, because it came up because of the walk cycle in Lost Ark, right? The female characters had these like Jessica Rabbit style, like oof, oof, oof walk cycles. And some of you were like, I can't take my own character seriously. What is this nonsense? And I was like,
so goofy.
It's silly, but I don't think I've ever like needed to identify with my character as a character, or like I don't see them as a person. And everybody was like, Lauren, what the hell, you actual serial killer. And I see my characters a little bit differently. I think what I said at the time was like, they're like a MySpace page to me. They're like a billboard, you know? They are an advertisement of what I've been up to and like what kind of a person I am, more so than they are like, they're not an OC to me. They're not an original character and they're not like me. So I don't know. Sarah, you're really into your characters. They have to be just right. Who is your WoW main? And I want you to tell us about a time that you have deleted a high level character because they weren't right. You admitted to this, and I need to know the details.
Well, my main in World of Warcraft is a demon hunter called Akina, basically named after a place in a fantasy book, Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. But that's kind of my theme with names. I don't know why, just names of places in fantasy books that I like the sound of just kind of translate quite well to character names in MMOs for some reason. But yeah, so she's been my main probably for a couple of years. I do kind of my main before her was Shadow Priest, who was my main since like 2014. So she was probably my longest. But I have been known to delete characters if they annoy me. Like it has. Both my mains are blood elves. The horde, obviously, just being blood elf. And I've tried playing other classes. But if I don't like the way the character looks, or walks, or the name of the character, I just cannot deal with it at all. So like I might think, I might sort of think to myself, well, I want to make an undead character, or I want to make I can't think of any other like a troll, for example. Just because like with a druid, you can only be a troll, or you can be a orc in like on horde. So if you want to play a druid, you can't be a blood elf, which is really depressing. So I've tried. This is why I hardly ever play druid, because I can't be a blood elf, and I don't like trolls or orcs. Or rather, it's not that I don't like them. I like them, like in lore and stuff, but I can't play them because I hate the way they walk or the way they look.
You don't feel right inhabiting them.
No, and I've tried. I've really, really tried. Like putting all like different armor on so you kind of disguise the way they look a bit, but they've still got the walk. And I just can't deal with it.
I feel like Sarah's like, she's like getting the ick over like the smallest. It's like just a series of like misfortune, like bad dates or something. It's like, yeah, I was with a troll, but like, oh my god, the way he walked, ugh, instant ick. And then it's like, well, my longest relationship was with the blood elf, like back in like 2014. It sounds like it's just
Blood
like a
elves all the
series, like
way.
a long dating history.
Okay, but this has happened to me too, because in the original Guild Wars, you can only play as a human. I didn't make that up. You can only play as a human, right? And one of your main enemies are the Char, the giant cat people, right? And they
Yeah.
are not Elder Scrolls cat people. These are monstrous hulking cat people. They're so
not hot.
cool. They're not hot. You can play as one in Guild Wars 2. And so I have Mollie, as you know. I appreciate a Norn. I play as a Norn. I play as a human.
Mhm.
I don't care for the Sylvari. Maybe they do give me the ick. I don't know. I just don't like them. But also I've tried, I think I've literally never made a Sylvari, the plant people, because I do not like them. But I've tried playing as a Char. I was like, I should have a Char character. I should have a big cat who is a not a necromancer, but a mesmer. I should have this big cat mesmer just for kicks. And I never played it because I didn't like being the big hulking cat person. It just felt wrong. The way they walk is so cool. And I think it's neat, but I don't like being it turns out.
Mhm.
So yeah. Mollie, you've had a crisis of character species as well, have you not?
I did, yeah. So my main character in Final Fantasy 14 is called Azina Ben. So she was originally a cat girl. She was a Makote. So her name is like lore accurate to Makote. So it's like they have like it's always like an initial and then an apostrophe and then another name, right? So it's like apostrophe Xena. And I had my beautiful cat girl for 7 years, like something wild like that. It's like 7.5 years I had her for, and then I was progging Savage raids for the very first time, and that is a soul crushing experience. Like if you're not doing that in a static, like I was doing it with a couple of friends and then everyone randoms. It is a truly soul destroying experience. And I feel like I was like resenting my cat girl after a while. I was like, I don't want to log in and look at your stupid face for like 5 hours straight and then log off and then come on the next day and you're still there with your stupid face who hasn't cleared all these savage raids. So I think me and my friends who were progging at the time, I think in some sort of like Final Fantasy version of a midlife crisis, we all switched race. And I became a bunny girl. I became a Viera. And she is the best. She is amazing, and I love her. And I do miss my cat girl. Like in my head, my cat girl is like canon. She's the one I played through all the story with. She's like my baby. And then my Viera is like my hot mummy who I play between expansions now. Maybe I'll go back to Catgirl when the next expansion comes out, but I really love my bunny girl. She's cute. So yeah, that's me. I think I've discovered I really like playing like tall, slightly ominous looking women because you also introduced me to Norn in Guild Wars, and I love my Norn. Yeah, I've moved away from the Sylvari life. It's no longer hot tree people. It's hot Viking women. It's my favorite.
Okay, you both pick like cool names. Mollie has a lore accurate name. Sarah has a name that like sounds very fantasy like, even if it's not WoW lore. I'm some sort of gremlin who I name my characters. Like my main in Guild Wars 2 is just named Cursed Cupcake. Like it's a descendant of the gamer tag that I had when I was a kid. Now things just are named Cupcake. It's been that way forever for me. What a silly name.
Do you ever want to go like lore accurate?
I did when I was younger. When I played like Guild Wars 1, I had like fantasy sounding names, but then I would just sort of like pick something out of thin air. Like Sarah picks names from like series of books that she enjoys, like has a connection to. I would just like make something up, something that sounded vaguely correct, but like I had no connection to. I was just bad at picking names. So then I was like, never mind. We're just going to have stupid names forever now. Like it will. And now that's how I am forever, unfortunately. All my characters have dumb names. So
I kind of like that though. I feel like you always remember the dumb names more than you remember like the biblically accurate ones, right?
oh yes, there's a Guild Wars 2 player who I still to this day remember, and I won't say it right. I'm going to get it slightly wrong. It's either Pancake Fart Sparkle or Pancake Sparkle Farts. I don't remember which it was, but this was a Char character, by the way, the big hulking cat people, and they were dressed in cotton candy pink and blue. They had a guild of all people dressed in the same cotton candy pink and blue. And if you joined their guild, they were at a particular time when I found them standing around like Lion's Arch. They were just like, join our guild. We'll give you the cotton candy pink and blue. They must have been cheap colors. And you can join us. So I joined with them, and I got to be cotton candy pink for, you know, the few days that interest lasted. But I will never forget them.
That's amazing. Yeah, see, it is. It's always the pancake fart sparkles that you remember rather than the Azina Bens, or I think my Norn is called like Ilva Frostclaw, something like that, because it's like very like Vikingy Norse, whatever that is. I forget now. Yeah, it's always the dumb names. Like I remember all the dumb names from like Limsa Lominsa in Final Fantasy more than I remember like the people like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and shout out to Sleeps on Bridges. I can't get away from this conversation without shout out to Sleeps on Bridges, the Argonian who I once met in Elder Scrolls Online, lore accurate-ish name of Sleeps on Bridges. They were a neat individual, and they logged in all the time, and they were always sleeping on bridges. And they had a whole guild of people that slept on bridges around them. You could find that story somewhere on PCGamer.com. I think it's like the laziest player in ESO or something like that is what we headlined it. Go find that. It's a fun story.
It's one of my favorite things that you've ever written.
Oh, it's one of my favorite things I've ever written. It was like I have hardly since achieved the same balance of like soul bearing but also an interesting subject. Like this person was interesting, and I walked this weird line of stalking this person in a game but also talking about like my deep nostalgia for like the way that I was introduced to MMOs. That is still one of my favorite stories I've ever written, actually.
It's a great story.
Yeah, so okay, we've gone over lore names. This is the big sticking point for me in MMO player characters, that it seems like it's where I differ from the rest of you. Is your character part of the story?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I think that is kind of by Final Fantasy XIV's design as well, right? They very much integrate you in the story. Like you're in almost every cutscene. You're sort of, well, you know, I guess it's true for a lot of games, but I feel like because Final Fantasy XIV in particular is so narrative heavy, and you will hear so many people who play it talk about the story and the narrative and how sort of how vital it is to the overall experience. So I think it's just kind of by that game's design that I really feel like my character is part of the story, which is why, like I said, I'm like, I'll probably go back to Catgirl when the new expansion comes out, because she's just, in my head, she is like the canonical version of my Warrior of Light. So for me, definitely, yeah. I don't feel it as much in Guild Wars. Honestly, I haven't really paid much attention to the story in Guild Wars, but Final Fantasy for sure.
It's the same with me with Guild Wars. Like, for being a person who enjoys story-heavy RPGs as much as I do, and the way that Guild Wars has this like long-term evolving story that I think is good. I think it is, but I wouldn't know because I don't pay attention. I've literally never cared about the main story or the side characters or anything in Guild Wars 2. And I feel bad about that because that is not what it deserves. They put a lot of effort into that story, but I have just unfortunately never. Sarah, what about you? Is your character in the story?
That is a really good question. I'm actually not sure. I've just been trying to think about it while you and Molly were answering there. But like, I do love the World of Warcraft lore. There is a lot of it. and I would say that I probably haven't paid as much attention to it as I should have done over the last couple of expansions. Legion and Battle for Azeroth are probably the last expansions that I really kind of got into the whole story thing sort of with it rather. So but even then I don't know that my character felt like I suppose it did, because like, you know, it's not as perhaps sort of cutscene heavy as like Final Fantasy, but it's very definitely you are a champion that is helping to save the world essentially. Sort of one of several, but you know you're definitely playing a part there. But for me, I think it's more not necessarily sort of so much with the story, but my character has to feel like they fit in that world, which could mean the same thing, depending on sort of what angle you're going with. But and I think that's where the like, if the name or the walk or the look or whatever doesn't feel right, doesn't fit somehow, maybe that it doesn't fit with me, but it also feels like it doesn't fit with the world, then it just
Yeah.
feels really jarring, and that's where I'm like, nope, I have to change it or delete it or whatever. So
I get that. No, I totally get that. Like, if I was running around as a bright pink pancakes farkle spots as a bright pink pancakes sparkle farts. Oh my god.
What
I
a
feel
name.
like I
What a
just wouldn't
legend.
enjoy it. I
yeah,
just wouldn't enjoy the experience as much, right? I think I would do it as like a side character, like a funny, goofy little side character, but I could not do it
yeah.
as like, right, I'm gonna start this MMO and I'm gonna spend the next 3,000 hours like immersing myself in this story as some bright pink giant like stupid cat called Pancake Fart fucking fart sparkles. I can't like I think as a fun little side thing, as a fun little meme character, sure. But I completely agree with you, Sarah. I could not do that to myself for
No, because like,
like my main playthrough.
yeah, I mean, I've definitely done it in the past, like you said, like with side characters, like with alts or whatever. You'll sort of have a laugh. You'll decide to level something with a friend, and you go off and you make stupid
Mm-hmm.
characters with the most ridiculous names you can think of. And with those are the characters that I ever either sort of get to like level 20 and then never touch again, or I will level them all
Yeah.
the way and then either race change or name change or both, because I
If
cannot
you get
deal
attached to
with.
playing them, then they
Yeah,
need to become real
yeah,
characters.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so I'm just a monster because one of my favorite characters in Guild Wars 2, he's a human warrior. He is this like silver fox man, and he wears a pink tailcoat. And I just, that's who I am on that playthrough. I don't know. Do you guys design your characters to look like you, or did you ever? I feel like people go through phases with that.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to, I feel like I've settled on a look now. Like in real life, I feel like I've settled on a look. I've been like rocking like the split hair for like nearly 2 years now. The blonde and black for like nearly 2 years. The general split hair for like nearly 3 years. But back when I was in like my mid to late teens, like I'd say like my mid teens to my early 20s, I would change my hair color like a lot. So when I would change my hair color in real life, I would change it like on my character in the game as well. So when I
Really?
first started playing Final Fantasy, I had purple hair and so did my character. And then I went brunette and so did my character. And then I went pink and so did my character. So I would like always change it. And then because I had gray hair for a while and then gray and black split hair. So my Final Fantasy character has gray hair at the moment. So it's like little things like that. I normally tend to go for like the hair color is similar, which is kind of hard now. But back
Not many
then I would
character
always
creators give you that option.
yeah, it's kind of hard to like get like the split, the like the two-tone hair options going in a game. But I would normally try and do at least the hair color. Uh but now I feel like I take my Final Fantasy 14 character's design, which is like purple eyes and grey hair, and I will apply that to like other characters now. Except for Guild Wars. Guild Wars I just made the prettiest looking character I could. And because her surname was Frostclaw, I wanted her to look like all icy, and so she's got like platinum hair and like white or blue eyes. I forget, but no. Normally I try and go off hair color and sometimes eye color.
I was actually about to
So
say
you-
that absolutely not. I do not go with my own. Like, I don't kind of try to recreate my character at all. But like, having thought about it and having heard Mollie just say about it, not necessarily with WoW, because I'm pretty sure WoW character customization doesn't have this hair color. But my Elden Ring character, and I'm pretty sure my Diablo 4 character had this color hair. So clearly I
Have
do.
bright blue hair.
Yeah.
Oh,
So apparently I
fantastic.
do.
Wait, does WoW not have like bright blue hair color options?
Trolls do.
and as we
Probably
know, you are not a troll.
no. I'm
Do
not a
not play
troll.
trolls.
No. There are some I think that do have it, but I'm pretty sure Blood Elves do not. They might have like a dark. I think they've got like a navy blue, and they might have a very, very, very light blue, but not like a turquoisey, greeny blue like I've got. Which, yeah. So
That's so sad.
I
Lauren,
know.
do you give your characters your like piercing blue gaze? Because your eyes, you know, respectfully, your eyes are beautiful.
Looking respectfully. I do.
Looking respectfully.
I do sometimes give them cool eyes, but not necessarily blue eyes. I do like my blue eyes. They are quite bright colored. But I don't know. I feel like I usually go with weird colors. And just fundamentally, my characters never have anything to do with me. I always make someone that looks a lot cooler than me, which if I had a cool hairstyle like either of the two of you, maybe I would be recreating it in game, but this is how I have always looked. And so I will usually make like characters with like a platinum white bob. That was my necromancer in Guild Wars 1, or like, and now that I'm an adult, they have even less to do with me. Like, I probably half the time I'm playing men in MMOs. Just it depends on the game and whether I like their hairstyles or their outfits better.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, like in Elder Scrolls Online, I ended up changing my Khajiit that I mained. I didn't like the Lady Khajiits, so now I'm a man, but he does wear a very pretty wedding dress. I'm an awful meme lord MMO player. And I play a man in Fallout 76 back when I was playing that, which is also not exactly an MMO. And
That's
then
wild to me.
I have like many characters in Guild Wars 2. I don't know. Yeah. They just have.
That is just.
Why would you want to play a
That's
man?
so wild to me. Yeah, because like
I don't know.
you know, I know I have a lot of guy friends that play female characters, right?
Yeah.
But
That's the trope, right? The long
Yeah,
running joke.
like
Yeah.
what's it called? Oh my god, I forget what like people make like a joke of like an acronym, but I forget what it is. It's just like you know, it's all girls. Everyone's a girl.
Mhm.
But if they're a girl, they're actually a guy. But I never really hear about like girls playing male characters unless the male characters are like super pretty, like the male Viera in Final
Oh yeah.
Fantasy. They're like
I did
they're
make
like super
a
feminine,
I
super
did make a male
gorgeous.
Viera in Final Fantasy 14 for the
They are
brief
really
moment
hot.
that I played.
That is like the only male class I would ever really play. And it's not because I don't want to play men. It's not like a ew, like why would I want to play a man? I mean it kind of is, but no. I'm kidding. It's I think I just generally find that they have like less interesting armor choices, less interesting customization choices. And I guess I do like having that little bit of self-insertion of like
Mhm.
being a female playing a female, I guess. Like if I have the option, I'd say nine. I was gonna say 9 times out of 10, but no. Every time I have the option, I am playing like a female character. Have you ever played a male character, Sarah?
I have, but again, that's generally more for like old characters, never main characters, never
Mhm.
characters that I'm planning on playing long term. Um, I did level a male blood elf, surprisingly, Death Knight, all the way to max level, but then Blizzard luckily brought in the whole free gender change at barbershops, which you could just do in games, so I just went and changed it to a female. But
That's a really cool little addition.
Yeah, so I've got, like you said, I've got nothing against sort of male characters. I think they look really cool, but for me, I don't think the armor, for starters, I don't think the armor looks as good. I mean, it does. I'm not saying that male characters don't look good in their armor, but like, it feels to me making excuses here. But like male characters, to me, a good male character armor is like massive shoulders and like just very kind of intimidating looking and strong, and what sounds really stereotypical. But like, whereas females just tend to, they can still look badass, but
there are more options.
Yeah, and it just looks, I guess, more how I would look if I was in World of Warcraft, or not that I'm ever like to be in World. You know what I mean? It's. I suppose it is the character insertion thing, isn't it? It's with the, It's.
No, I get that.
This is the weird disconnect. When we originally had this conversation that spawned me wanting to talk to you about this, was that like, I also care so much what my character looks like. I mean, I will grind for a specific outfit. I will do an appearance change, but it just has nothing to do with me. Like, or like, it's not based on me in any way. It's very much like I'm decorating yon old MySpace page or a weird old blog, or it's like back when Facebook, you could actually customize it. I miss customizable social media. I miss that era of the internet, back when things weren't standardized. And that's kind of how I treat my MMO characters. They're this like weirdo flashing sign in the sky that's like, look what I've been doing. And the answer is running the Citadel of Flame dungeon to get tokens over and over and over again, so I could have those flameo pauldrons, and I could pair them with the Grenth mask that they finally released. I freaked out in Guild Wars 2 when they finally released a mask of Grenth. They did like all the other gods first, I feel like, is what happened, and then they finally did one that I was like, that's what my necromancer needs. I need that one. So they just never look like me.
Are you telling me that your characters don't have their own individual sense of style? And sometimes you'll put armor on them and you'll go, oh, my character would never wear that. Because I do that. I'm like, my character has a very like specific like sense of fashion. And some of that stems from my own personal preference as well, obviously. But sometimes I will find this like really cute piece of armor and I will put it on like my bunny girl and I'll be like, this isn't her. Like, this isn't her, like, style. This isn't, like, how I've perceived her to be in my head. And then I'll be like, okay, so she's not wearing that. Do you not do that? Is that just me?
Sarah, do you do that?
No, I don't think. I don't think I do, no.
Oh,
no. Okay. All right. I'm not at least alone on this one.
Okay. I'll die on this hill. I think...
Molly, you have an OC. This is what we have learned. You have an original character, Bunny Girl. She is yours.
I really do. And like I act differently depending on like whether I'm cat girl or bunny girl as well. Like when I'm a cat girl, I am the most like little gremlin goblin ass, like running around, jumping, causing mischief, like slapping people, doing just like really out of pocket stuff. And then when I play like Viera, I'm like very like elegant. I like like I'll just stand there very like nonchalant, sort of, you know, just like quietly observing people, or I'll like if someone talks to me, I might respond a little bit with like more authority than I would if I was a cat girl. And that I don't know why that change happens with me, but like I feel like the shorter my character becomes, the more of a goblin I become. And then when I go for like the tall, more mature looking classes, I kind of like slightly change the way I play my character to reflect that. Like I'm still me with my friends, I'm still me like with how I talk no matter who I'm playing. But when I come to like interact with strangers and just the way I AFK, I will do it differently. It's very strange. And I think I'm the only one on that one as well. I don't think either of you two do that either, do you?
No.
Yeah, I'm totally alone on that one. But I don't know what it is. I think it's like in real life, right? When you put on like a certain dress, like a certain outfit or something, it makes you feel like a certain type of way, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you might like do your makeup a certain way or like put your outfit on, and like depending on what you're wearing,
This is a new
you'll
version
just
of me.
feel. Yeah, you'll just like feel a little bit different. And that's how I feel.
This is why Sarah can't play a troll in WoW, is because if we ever let Sarah go like full meme goblin mode, nobody would survive. It's
She'd
in
be
there
unstoppable.
somewhere. It's in you, and it's probably dangerous.
It probably is. Yep. Terrifying.
Okay, so you two have both admitted that you have definitely spent money on like name appearance change stuff in your respective games, right?
Maybe.
Yep.
A little bit.
Maybe. Who's asking?
Me, I'm asking. Admit it.
Yes, I have changed. Well, because I saved my first free, like Fantasia is what they're called in Final Fantasy, like your like race or appearance changes. I saved my first Fantasia for 7.5 years, so I did pretty well on that front. And then since then, I've used several on like the smallest tweaks, like skin tone changes, or like I changed back to Catgirl for a little bit and was like, I don't like this, and then went back to a bunny girl. So I have spent money on race and appearance changes, but I've never changed my name because I feel quite like attached to the name by this point. So, but you've done both, right, Sarah? You've done name changes and like race changes. I don't know what's called in Final Fantasy in WoW. Sorry.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I've paid real money to change race or appearance in both WoW and Final Fantasy 14. Because you have to, don't you? I did originally have, I think it was a Catgirl originally when I first played it. And then when they released the Viera, I had to have a Viera because, oh my god, you just have to. So I race changed
They're so beautiful.
They are. So I race changed my original character to that, and I did possibly maybe buy a couple of outfits from the store as well, which were really cool.
Yes, me too.
I think it might have been it might have been the lightning one from Final Fantasy 13 as well.
Yeah.
So it was totally worth it.
The big old trench coat she has.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ran an event in game. This was when I first started playing. So this was like August 2014. They ran a Final Fantasy 13 event where you could like get all the stuff for free, but you had to be like level 50 to get the final like items. So I never got the whole thing, but thankfully Square Enix release like old event cosmetics like in their shop. So I managed to scoop up the last couple from that as well. But yeah, I've got to hand it to Square Enix. They know how to make like a good like cash shop item. To be fair, so does ArenaNet.
Yeah, definitely. They have a lot of good, cool outfits. And I've definitely spent money on name and appearance changes in Guild Wars 2. And you're going to make fun of me because I think it might have been my first character when Guild Wars 2 first launched. I was like, okay, you need to be serious now. You should give your character a nice name. Give them some lore appropriate sounding name. And then after I played for a while, I wanted to change and play a different type of character. I gave them a stupid name. And then I mained that character forever. And I never touched the regular one again until I went and I changed her name and her appearance to be a lot weirder and like less lore compliant. And I was like, okay, now this feels right. It was like my lore appropriate Norn Ranger. It was itchy. I was like, there's so much pressure to be serious and like fit in and pay attention to the story. And I'm just like, I just want to be in neon pink and be a weirdo. Like,
You're such a hater.
I'm just I just can't be serious, I guess. I've tried and I can't do it. I can't pull it off.
such a goblin. What about in WoW? Does WoW have like, I assume they do. They have like cash shop cosmetics, like outfits and stuff and armor.
No. I want to say no, they don't.
Really?
They have the only thing that you can get on the cash shop is, God, I hope I'm right about this. I'm sure I'm right about this. Is mounts, pets, and although maybe you can. If you can, I'm just trying to think. There might be one that you can get from the cash shop, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's mainly mounts and pets. All the transmog
Oh,
stuff.
that's really surprising.
Yeah, most of the transmog stuff you get would be in game. You basically go back and run old raids and stuff to get it,
Huh,
or you
that's
can
quite
get
surprising.
some stuff off like the black market auction house and things like that. But it's
The black market, the WoW black market of transmog.
yeah,
Sounds so
hey,
dicey.
yeah. But like you can, a lot of it's quite good because where you can collect it, like go do old raids, pick up the loot, and then some of it you can put on the auction house to sell it for ridiculous amounts of gold as well. So you can buy it.
That's quite good. I am surprised. Does surprise me that they don't have like kind of like goofy cash shop outfits. Because I'm trying to think, like, you know that wedding dress in Guild Wars? Like, what raid would they put that in?
Yeah.
to get like the wedding dress or the
It's
maid
gotta be a
outfit.
cash shop. Yeah.
There definitely is goofy outfits in WoW. That's something that's come along quite recently, I think. And I'm just trying to think where they come from. I've got a feeling they're like events, or they might be partly to do with like subscription pack. You know, like if you subscribe for
Yeah.
6 months, you get like a free mount, and you might get like a backpack or a weird outfit. And I've got a feeling they did something like that a while back as well. Because there's a couple of quite strange outfits in there, but I'm pretty sure they're not available on the actual store. But I could be wrong.
Do you guys have a like favorite best character creator option from an MMO that you've played? Like best feature you're able to change or how to do it?
Ooh, that's a good question. Can I go super basic?
Yes, you're allowed.
Hair. I just think.
Okay, what's like the best hairstyle you've ever had? Like from which game?
I don't.
I'm
wanna
sorry,
say
so
one.
much pressure.
I don't. To be fair, I do really like the hairstyles in Guild Wars. For the Norn especially. I think Norn has some like really and humans as well. I think there are some really pretty hairstyles. But I think having like a lot of hairstyles, it just instantly can make so many different like unique characters, even if they've all got like the same face. I feel like a hairstyle can really, really change up how your character looks. So I don't know. I do think that's the thing that I pay most attention to.
Yeah.
When I'm making a character. It's the
Sarah,
hair,
do you have a
for
favorite?
sure.
It would have to be hair as well, because like Molly said, it changes the way the character looks so much. Because like generally, what I do when I'm creating a character, depending on the game, is I'll do the face first, and if they've got a bold option like no hair, I'll go for that whilst I'm making the face, so that I've got a completely blank
Sure.
canvas to go with, and then I try all the different hair. Because sometimes I've found that if you do the hair before you do the face will look completely different if you change the hair. So
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
so I'll
Changes the whole vibe.
it does. It does. So yeah, hair definitely.
I was thinking about it slightly differently, and I just have like two very specific things that first of all, shout out to Elder Scrolls Online again, because they have a slider in their character creator for posterior dimensions, which, yes, is a butt slider.
Oh, hey! Oh my god.
We are very used to in games having a chest slider for women
Yeah.
characters that is long established, but ESO has a booty slider, and I would just like to applaud ESO for having that. And also, Final Fantasy XIV, I really enjoyed that character creator because of the split hair options. Like Molly, you said it's not like your split hair. They do like
Highlight.
tips basically
Yeah.
and like highlights, but I feel like in MMOs a lot of times you don't quite get that granular with like you get swatches and you get hair options, and you don't get a lot of chances to customize within that set. So I really liked that in Final Fantasy 14, the
I will hand
hyper
it
customization of hair.
Yeah, I will hand it to Final Fantasy. Like the actual character creator, it's not the most limited. It's not the most limited character creator out there, but it's not super extensive. But they do have a lot of color options, which I do very much appreciate, and the voice options as well. There's like 12 voice options for every.
There are a lot.
Yeah, for like every race, there's like 12 voice options per gender for each race. So there's like a lot. You can have like, I think that's another thing that just plays so much into the personality of the characters as well, is the fact that you can have like 5 cat girls stood together and they'll all have like different voices. Like they'll all laugh differently, they'll all like cheer differently, and I love that. I feel like
really
that's
nice.
such a cool addition.
That's something I never, ever, ever pay attention to, is the voice. Ever.
Really?
No. On any character. I'm like, I don't care what they sound like, it's just how they look. I'm really shallow like that. Yep.
I have to.
Do they?
I feel no,
in WoW, Sarah, do they not repeat lines as you cast stuff over and over again?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure WoW. God, this is. Why can I not remember this stuff? I'm pretty sure WoW does not have voice options. Watch Now as it does, and I'm completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. So, like, if you've got a Blood Elf, they have a specific voice, so every Blood Elf sounds the same.
Yeah.
And every troll will sound the same, and so forth. So, from that respect, you're kind of stuck with it. But for any games that do have voice options, I literally just skip over it. It stays on the default.
Oh no.
Sarah.
I'm sorry.
Because man, in Guild Wars 2, the way that like your character has so many call outs for different spells, like I can hear in my head right now characters saying urge to kill rising, which I don't remember what that goes with. I don't remember if it's when you get a certain buff. I just know I've heard urge to kill rising a lot of times. Like, and if it was,
characters are fully voiced, right? In Guild Wars 2.
Yes, they are voiced in cutscenes, but what you hear most of the time are those like in combat call out stuff, and that is what, if your voice is not right, will just like
it'll just stay ingrained.
I'll be honest with you, I don't remember off the top of my head either if Guild Wars 2 has voice options or if it's also locked to your. Okay, it doesn't. It's locked to your.
There's no voice options in Guild Wars 2.
Well, whatever. I guess it must be like a Norn thing, maybe. I don't remember.
It's I think it's such a small thing, and like you said, Sarah, like I think it's something that a lot of people don't pay attention to. But I think, I don't know, in Final Fantasy, it just makes such a difference when you can have like 5 people doing the same emote and they all sound different. I love it. And then there's some very infamous voices, like Makote voice 5 has this like awful little like woo woo in like battles, and you will hear it above everything else. And if you're doing like a big raid with a voice 5 Makote, someone will point it out, right? And there was a
weirdo with voice 5.
Yes, it's like, who is the voice 5 Makote? And then they had to patch this out. There was a Vieira voice that sounded like a grandma that had like fallen down the stairs. Yeah, it was
what?
Like in battle. Yeah, in battle. I don't want to like repeat it because I don't want to make a fool of myself. She goes like, huh. Like it's wild. But I do think it, like, I don't think I realized until we were talking about it how much personality it adds.
Yeah.
Which is probably another reason why I'm so attached to my stupid little character and all my stupid little friends' characters.
Okay, on the note of noticing other people, have you guys had a moment in either of your respective games where you see somebody around town in the player hub and you're like, I want what they've got? Whether it's like, oh my God, I never saw that hairstyle, or like, oh my God, I want that armor that they have, or just like something about them. Do you remember a specific one?
Surely you do, Sarah. Surely.
I'm just trying to think. I don't think I remember a specific one, but I know there's been a lot of occasions where, like you said, I'll be stood around in the hub, like Orgrimmar or wherever, and you just spot somebody just because of what they're wearing, or it just looks really cool, like the way their hair and their armor just looks together, or even the mount they sat on. But usually it'll be like the armor hair combination, or you're sort of looking at it, you're thinking, I've never seen that armor before. What is it? And so you have to go up and inspect them and see what it was they're wearing. And you're just like, okay, I've got that bit of armor, but I've never thought of combining it with that before. So you then have to go off for hours and and just like try all these different armor combinations to see if you can get something that looks kind of similar. And if not, what raid drops it. And yeah, so it does start a bit of a rabbit hole that you disappear down for about 5 months.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean, because I'm the same. Like, it's something that I really miss in Guild Wars 2 is I love in Final Fantasy like clicking on people and examining them. So in Guild Wars you can't do that, right? You just kind of have to like stare at them. But in Final Fantasy you can right click on someone, you can examine them, and you can see like a little image of their character, and you can see all of their gear. So you can see like what the base gear is, and then if it's glamored, you can see what it's glamored as well. So I spend ages. I'm like always clicking on people and like looking at what their gear is. And there are like some, you know, like plugins as well that you shouldn't be using, but there are some plugins that you can also use where you can just like take that person's outfit and like, because you can like try stuff on. You can right click and try everything on individually, or like, but you have to click on every individual item to try it all on together. Or you can use a plugin and you can just try the whole thing on yourself immediately. And I love it. I think Final Fantasy 14 is so like fashion endgame heavy,
fashion centered. Oh yeah,
like we love a good old fashion endgame. So yeah, I'm always examining people. I remember I saw someone with this like amazing glowing armor once, and I was like, what is that? I want that. Turns out it's from this thing called Eureka, and it takes like fucking forever. It takes so long, but I did it eventually. But it took a lot of time and a lot of effort to get this like one chess piece for my paladin who I don't even play, but I just wanted to look cool.
Yeah. In Guild Wars 2, you have to like go to like very well curated community tools like Guild Wars 2 Fashion, and I forget there's like several different ones that you can check, or just like the player curated wiki to figure out what on earth people are wearing. And I've definitely spent time scrolling through wikis, being like, which chess piece is that? I must have it. But I think it probably the time I most recently remember is when I did briefly try Final Fantasy 14 and just like standing around Limsa Lominsa.
Yeah,
Limsa Lominsa.
that's the one.
And there was some person who was like a dragon person. And again, I am betraying my taste here, but it was this giant dragon person carrying an adorable parasol and wearing this like pleated white, like cheerleading skirt basically, and a crop top too. And I was like, that's what I want. I want to be a dragon man in a pleated skirt with a parasol. Like, that's me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fashion's great. I love it.
So it turns out that I really am the weirdo here. We have just doubled down on that being the case after this original conversation.
You are the shitlord.
It turns out I'm a shitlord. Like, wow. I have to let it all out somewhere, right? I keep it together most of the time, but man, I log in and I'm just like, I want to be a little freak. I'm the little freak of the group. Mollie has her original character that travels to other games. She gets recreated. And Sarah, you are just the queen of lore appropriate. Like, you are always on brand, right? Is that how we broke down?
Yes.
Sarah's
the queen of cool. I have severe brain rot, and you're a meme lord, Lauren.
Who knew?
What a trio we make.
Yes.
We've covered all the bases. You know, the little like triangle things that are labeled with like 3 different, and then you like some character creators have those, the triangle axes instead of the slider axes. That's what we represent. OC lore appropriate meme shit lord.
Yes. Sarah, I must see your blood elf. I really want to see her very bad.
I will.
So
I will get you screenshots.
yes, maybe we can get our lovely video editor Josh to put up little pictures of us, little pictures of our characters, maybe. So that would be cool. If he didn't do that, I'm sorry.
If that's not happening right this second, we apologize.
Yeah, if that did not happen at all in this podcast, how bad.
Thank you guys for hashing out our MMO player characters with me. I think I feel better. I think I feel more secure that I know who I am now. It's okay that I was the odd person out, but I feel better for it. I feel stronger. I think we've all come away with an archetype, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Me too.
Nicely done. Thank you, Sarah, for joining us. Thank you, everybody else, for joining us. This is the PC Gamer chat log. You can find us at pcgamer.com. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.